Well, groups in the Valley came together to help raise money for the Community Free Clinic of Huntsville today, and they used music to do it. Our Nixon Norman tells us how these musical and medical communities help take care of one another.
This is just a perfect example of somebody wanting to give back to our community.
Playing music to help ensure everyone has access to health care in the Valley. Musicians perform to help raise funds for the Community Free Clinic, whose mission is to give free health care, education, and medical supplies to people in Madison County without health insurance.
The clinic provides health care. We provide medications for free, diabetic supplies for free, testing.
Which is very important if you're a musician, because the benefits to being a musician are not quite up there. So we depend a lot on the Community Free Clinic for our people, as well as the homeless population. A lot of people that don't have the access that everyone does.
The live entertainment industry has been one of the most impacted by COVID-19, leaving entertainers such as musicians forced to go without. Places like the Community Free Clinic have been able to provide care to impacted entertainers throughout the pandemic.
I know myself and all my musician friends lost tons of money over the last year. People lost a lot of their normal ways of making money, so getting health care is a struggle.
And the struggle to access health care is not exclusive to musicians. Platt says even one person not having health care can affect a whole community.
The lack of ongoing health care can be just detrimental to families, to the community, to, if you don't have access to get your medication or to get your testing done, or you lose your job, it affects everybody in the community if somebody without health care really needs it, has no access to it.
Putting the Valley first, Nixon Norman, WZDX News.